Coming up on Mountain News this morning, people across our region continue to mourn the loss of a group of Eastern Kentucky police officers. And an Eastern Kentucky nonprofit asked the community for some financial help in supporting the families of those fallen officers.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's almost 5 o'clock on this July 4th. Happy July 4th to you. I'm Dakota Makris. Let's take it over to Cameron for a look at your forecast this morning. Cameron, all calm and quiet this morning.
Yeah, quiet, but a little bit foggy in spots as we wake up this morning on this 4th of July. But some good or bad news, the way you look at it, it's going to be a very warm day across the mountains. Let's start out over in Whitesburg. You can see some of that fog back in the distance. Current temperature sitting at 68 degrees. That dew point also at 68. So the air is moist this morning, and that is making some foggy conditions in spots. Over at I-75 in Mount Vernon, all is quiet as well in that location. Temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s, 72 for Somerset, 70 in Jackson, 67 over in Pikeville. And taking a look at that visibility map, some people waking up to zero visibility in Jacksboro, almost zero over in Ashland. So be sure if you were out this morning to give yourself plenty of time. All is quiet on Pinpoint Doppler, but I have that complete forecast and when you can expect some storms to return coming up in just a little bit. Dakota.
All right, Cameron, thank you. People in Floyd County are in mourning following the announcement of a third officer death due to a shooting in Allen on Thursday. Our Jordan Mullins has more from officials and fellow officers who are remembering those who are not with us today.
Law enforcement officers are tasked to answer the call of duty daily.
They go face the evil on a regular basis. They see it. They know what it looks like, and they confront it.
Following Thursday's shooting in Allen, 3 officers and a canine were killed. Captain Ralph Frasure and Officer Jacob Chaffins of Prestonsburg Police and Deputy William Petry and Canine Officer Drago of the Floyd County Sheriff's Office. Displaying bravery, officials say, is irreplaceable.
You know, that's the definition of sacrifice of themselves because they give it all. They sacrifice their own lives in the service of others, and it's irreplaceable. I mean, this line of work, there's not many. They call it a thin line for a reason, and our line just got thinner.
And the community, while still in shock, is banding together, lifting each other and fellow first responders up.
There's a law enforcement family out there. There's an EMS family. There's a first responder family, and they're tight. And regardless of, it's like brothers fighting sometimes. You know, that's just what happens. They argue and they carry on. But when it comes down to it, it's time. They're all going to work with each other.
Prestonsburg Police Chief Randy Woods says he will see those fallen officers again someday.
I just want to see those smiling faces and those open arms again because I know that they'll be there. And I'd say they'll be in front of the line to be there to greet each and every one of us that love them so dearly.
But for now, he and the community are remembering the heroes and blessed peacemakers who gave their all. In Floyd County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Mayor Stapleton says there will be scheduled grief counseling in the days and weeks to follow to help those who may need guidance during a troubling time such as this. Well, we have the dates for the funerals and services for the fallen officers. The visitation for 28-year-old Officer Jacob Chaffins will begin on Tuesday at 6 p.m. at Toms Creek Free Will Baptist Church in Iville. It will continue all day Wednesday at the church. His funeral will be held Thursday at 1 p.m. at the Mountain Arts Center. He'll be laid to rest at the Gethsemane Gardens in Prestonsburg. Nelson Frasure Funeral Home announced arrangements for Captain Ralph Frasure. The visitation for the 60-year-old will begin today at 6 p.m. at Nelson Frasure Funeral Home, and it will continue all day Tuesday. His funeral will be held Wednesday at 1 p.m. at the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg. He'll also be laid to rest at Gethsemane Gardens. And the visitation for 60-year-old Deputy William Petry began yesterday at Nelson Frasure Funeral Home in Martin. Now, it will continue all day today at the same location. His funeral will be held Tuesday at 11 a.m. at the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg. He'll also be laid to rest at Gethsemane Gardens in Prestonsburg, just like the other 2 officers. Well, Floyd County Sheriff's Office released the names of the 3 other injured victims, asking for the community to come together and pray for their recovery. Those injured include Floyd County Sheriff's Deputy Darren Lawson, Constable Gary Wolf, and Floyd County Emergency Management Director Joe Reynolds. Many in our region are searching for divine intervention during a time of grief. The Praise Assembly of God Church in Prestonsburg held a service at the downtown gazebo yesterday. While the rain matched their emotions, the church came together to spread hope. Pastor J.M. Sloss says the community continues to rally around each other.
I've been preaching 50 years. I've never seen a city rally around anything, and a community. It's not only been the city, it's been the outside cities that have come in and said, hey, we care.
Praise Assembly of God was able to raise $2,000 in donations for the families of the fallen officers, which the People's Bank in Prestonsburg says it will match if donations reach $10,000. Those donations are not only needed for the families, but the police force in Floyd County. The Floyd County Community Foundation is taking donations for victims and the police force, and the Kent Rose Foundation is taking donations for the K-9 unit. Officials tell us they are already seeing a lot of support.
Let me tell you, I've had calls and we've had emails and Facebook messages from people everywhere. People have really shown an outpouring of love, and we are very grateful for that. We know that we have it here within us, but it's nice to see the rest of the country kind of rally around us also.
You can also call the Floyd County Sheriff's Department and donate directly to it. Well, thank you so much for getting your 4th of July started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we come back, a community down in Florida goes into a kind of quarantine, but not for the reason you'd probably expect. That's next.
And a toasty 4th of July is on tap across the mountains, but what can you expect for those fireworks shows later on tonight? I have those answers coming up.